The Federal Security Service, FSB, of the Russian Federation has issued an urgent and highly important statement disclosing details of a large-scale, multi-stage operation aimed at hijacking one of the most modern MiG-31 interceptor fighters, equipped with the unique Kinzhal hypersonic missile complex. This system is in service with the Russian Aerospace Forces and is one of the advanced developments of strategic importance for the country's defense capability. According to the official statement, this audacious and meticulously planned action was orchestrated by foreign intelligence services. They initially employed classic recruitment methods, but at a certain stage radically changed tactics, moving to the active phase of implementing the plan to illegally remove the combat aircraft from the Russian Federation. To corroborate their claims, the counterintelligence service provided materials from the ongoing investigation, including a photograph that has become public and is now actively discussed by experts and in specialized communities. As the investigation claims, the entire operation was built with cinematic thoroughness. The initial stage involved approaching crew members through channels disguised as professional or journalistic contacts. They were persistently offered significant sums of money in exchange for providing seemingly non-classified information, data on the technical condition of the aircraft, their flight schedules, features of combat duty, and the personnel of the crews. After establishing initial trust and verifying readiness for dialogue, bolder and more specific proposals followed. The recruiters began discussing not one-time payments, but a colossal one-time reward, amounting to millions of dollars, as well as guaranteed processing of a full set of documents for granting foreign citizenship in a Western country, with assurances of security and comfortable living conditions for the serviceman himself and his family members. A key turning point, according to the investigation, was the categorical refusal of one of the pilots from the target aviation unit to continue any contact. Having shown the highest integrity and loyalty, the pilot did not succumb to provocations and temptations. After this, the operators of the Foreign Intelligence Service, without abandoning their intent, shifted their main focus to the navigator of the same crew, counting on his potential vulnerability or other motives. It is important to note that, according to the FSB statement, Russian counterintelligence had information about the targeted recruitment attempts since last year. This allowed them to bring the situation under operational control from the very beginning. During the investigation, a notable detail was established. A journalist representing an influential Western publication was allegedly involved in establishing contacts with the flight personnel. According to operational information, this journalist maintained close ties with the intelligence service of an English-speaking country, suggesting he was not an independent reporter, but an active participant in intelligence activities. The correspondence between this agent of influence and the servicemen progressed gradually. It began with seemingly harmless requests to share opinions or general information, but gradually transformed into a frank proposal to take direct part in a large and significant operation, the details of which were initially withheld. To convince them of their determination and capabilities, the recruiters reportedly resorted to demonstrating a certain piece of evidence. They had obtained and transmitted to the navigator a photographic image of a person who, they claimed, had previously successfully left Russian territory using military equipment. According to the organizers' plan, this photo was supposed to serve as irrefutable confirmation of established channels and the ability to deliver on promises. However, as emphasized in the FSB materials, this image, instead of the expected effect of trust, raised a number of additional and highly inconvenient questions for the servicemen and, subsequently, for the investigators. Serious doubts arose about the authenticity of the story behind the photograph, as well as the real ultimate goals and methods of the interlocutors, which only increased suspicion and vigilance. The investigation concluded that the implementation of this audacious plan was supposed to lead to a serious provocation capable of destabilizing the already tense international situation. The alleged route for the hijacked MiG-31 was the Romanian port city of Constanța, where, by coincidence, large-scale NATO exercises were scheduled to take place at that time, related to practicing responses to a hypothetical threat at the alliance's borders. The ultimate goal of the operation, according to the authors of the statement, was to create a powerful informational pretext. The plan involved staging a defector's flight, with the subsequent destruction of the aircraft by NATO air defense forces in neutral waters or airspace. After this, A coordinated campaign was to be launched in global media with publications about a downed Russian fighter that allegedly posed an immediate threat. This would have allowed portraying Russia as an aggressor, accusing it of provocative actions, and justifying a new wave of sanctions or other measures of pressure. Despite the psychological and material pressure, both crew members, the pilot and the navigator, continued to conscientiously perform their direct duties. They carried out planned combat missions and training flights strictly in accordance with received orders. Sources in law enforcement agencies particularly emphasized that the flight personnel acted in a routine mode, which ultimately did not allow the recruiters to achieve their goals and allowed the counterintelligence to timely identify, localize, and completely neutralize the threat to state security. Currently, according to the agency, a broad range of operational search measures is being conducted. All participants and witnesses of the correspondence have been questioned. A thorough analysis of electronic traces and digital artifacts is underway, and possible accomplices and additional circumstances of the case are being identified. The materials include the names, surnames, and operational aliases of individuals directly linked by investigative bodies to foreign intelligence structures. The reaction from the expert and analytical community on social media and specialized media was immediate. One part of the specialists points to the exceptionally high level of risks associated with the operation of such complex and modern combat systems, and the imperative need for constant strengthening of secrecy and access control. Other analysts focus on the informational component of such incidents, noting how quickly such stories transform into a powerful tool of hybrid warfare, influencing diplomatic processes and shaping public opinion in a desired way. Representatives of law enforcement agencies urge the public and mass media to act responsibly and refrain from spreading unconfirmed speculative information, promising to provide verified data as the investigation progresses and new verified facts emerge. For the world community, this story has become another vivid reminder of the fragility and instability of the modern international political environment. It clearly demonstrates how a routine, at first glance, contact in digital space can be part of a global operation and turn into a large-scale interstate scandal with far-reaching consequences. Regardless of the final legal conclusions on this episode, it obviously underscores that security issues, both in technical and personnel aspects, remain an absolute priority and require the most close, continuous attention from the state and society. The story serves as a stern lesson that the methods of foreign intelligence services are constantly evolving, becoming more sophisticated and aggressive, and therefore, the vigilance and resilience of each individual serviceman are a crucial element of national security as a whole.